This module of the course is about dying well. As I created the course, I felt strongly that I wanted to include a module on having a good transition from this life. Some of the focus of this module will be emotional and spiritual as we plan for death that way. Other lessons are immensely practical in terms of getting your affairs in order in a way that will make the process easier on your loved ones than if you hadn't done the advanced planning. For now, let's stay focused on the emotional side of dying well. In our Western United States culture, we have quite a bit of discomfort with death. We tend to steer clear of this difficult yet important topic for reasons that are understandable. Contemplating death can spark feelings of fear or anxiety, which can be quite uncomfortable. However, mindfulness of death is a powerful practice that, when explored with care, can actually help us live life more fully. So you certainly have the option of skipping this module, but I hope at some point you decide to dive in, because I believe there really is such a thing as a good death, and to make it happen requires some advanced thinking and some deep inner work. I've linked some good articles that have been thought-provoking for me. I'm calling this module The Art of Dying Well, and it's not an oxymoron. I think that death is something you can do well. Rich and I talk about this often because we've had some friends who have exited life on their own terms and after having given the process careful thought. Just as we would all like to live well, we would like our exit to be peaceful and loving and positive and as easy as possible on everyone concerned. Because I've studied a lot of philosophical concepts with teachers around the world, I noticed that some cultures and wisdom traditions have a greater comfort with the notion of death and dying. For example, East Asians are typically taught to view the world in terms of yin and yang. From that philosophical perspective, life and death are inseparable. Death would mean nothing without life, and vice versa. This response to death is a renewed commitment to enjoying life, which has some real merits. When you are reminded of your own death, this can serve as a reminder that right now you have a wonderful, glorious life to live, and you should make the most of it before it comes to an end. One of my meditation practices is a study of detachment, which includes being more aware of mortality. This mindfulness practice is not grim, negative, morbid, or alarmist. In its true essence, awareness of the inevitability of death is about facing the nature of reality. It involves acknowledging the impermanence of all things and sitting with this awareness. I actually started this kind of meditation practice as I was letting go of stuff in my decluttering phase of life. If I was feeling like clinging to my blue Conran's vase or a vintage handbag or a favorite tea kettle, I would just sit with that feeling and acknowledge it. And notice how that sense of letting go of the object made me feel. I often do the same with my emotions about my aging body. When I look in the mirror and I see new wrinkles, or I feel a new type of arthritic pain or other signals that my body is aging, I just sit with that feeling and acknowledge it and allow it. And I think about change and impermanence. And I notice the feelings that come up, the gratitude for having lived long enough to see these changes in myself, and some feelings of sadness for the unwrinkled body that I once had. This type of practice for me leads to greater acceptance. Both life and death are two sides of our existence. In this acceptance, we discover deeper peace and contentment with the natural flow of things. This kind of active contemplation helps us see that it's not possible to cling to anything forever. And this helps ease our attachments to things, which lessens the suffering that we can experience. It can also enhance gratitude and wonder. I think it's worth it to think about death and the process and what you will want when you are dying. For me, I believe I will want to feel at peace. I hope to be as comfortable as possible physically. I don't want invasive treatment if it's clear that there's little to gain. I will want to give comfort and to say goodbye and thank my circle of people who have been important in my life. Ira Byock, a palliative care doctor, wrote in his book, The 4 Things That Matter Most, that there are 4 basic messages a person needs to communicate at the end of life. I love you. Thank you. I forgive you. Please forgive me. I believe I will want to be creating up until I physically can't anymore. I'll want to feel grateful. and to be able to be out in nature and see sunrises and sunsets and hear the birds sing and enjoy flowers. I hope I have the chance to journal and recognize all of the people that I have loved and the people who have loved me. And to cite some ways that I've left things better than I found them through philanthropy and teaching. I will want to articulate what brought meaning to my life. Depending on how I feel in my body and what's going on, I want to be able to decide how social I want to be and how alert I want to be. So I think that a good death is possible. And I will be learning right alongside you as I journal my own responses to the questions in the lessons of this module. I will be interested in your reactions and suggestions as you experience the lessons here.